Hello friends, welcome back to India for IAS. This is Manjunath Mudod. Topic of this video is trust vote in the state legislative assembly. So in this video we are going to study about what is trust vote in the state legislative assembly. So what is the confidence motion and what is no confidence motion. And then the role of the speaker and the role of the governor during the trust vote process. Importance of the trust vote and the challenges associated with in establishing the trust vote in the state legislative assemblies, and a few judicial pronouncements with respect to the trust vote, followed by one plain practice question. So this topic falls under GS2 paper, Indian Parliament and State Legislature, Indian Parliament and State Legislature. So this topic is important for both prelims and mains. So it is important for both prelims and mains. The reason being the trust vote process is a very hot topic, and every year one or the other state assembly is going for trust vote in India, and also there are issues with respect to the role of speaker and governor during the process of trust vote. So the trust vote was in news because recently the Hemant Soren government in Jharkhand state wins this trust vote in the state legislative assembly amid accusation of BJP or opposition party venturing into horse trading. So the trust vote, it is also known as the vote of confidence. It is a crucial aspect of parliamentary democracy. It determines whether the ruling government enjoys the confidence of the majority members of the legislative assembly or not. If the government which formed, if it wins the trust vote, then it can stay in the government, or if it loses the trust vote, then that government will collapse. So coming to the constitutional provisions with respect to the trust vote. So the following are the constitutional provisions. The first one is Article 164, Clause 2. So it says that the Council of Ministers shall be collectively responsible to the Legislative Assembly of the state. So it talks about the collective responsibility of the Council of Ministers to the State Legislative Assembly. So it is one of the foundational requirements for the parliamentary democracy in the states. Then coming to the Article 174, it provides the governor with the power to summon, prorogue and dissolve the state legislative assembly. So then Article 175 Clause 2 of the Constitution, it says that the governor may address the legislative assembly and for that purpose require the attendance of the members of the state legislative assembly. So then the next article, Article 188, it talks about or it deals with the oath or affirmation by the members of the state legislative assembly. So these are the few constitutional provisions which are associated directly or indirectly with the vote of confidence or trust vote. So now we will look into the types of trust votes or the categories of the trust vote that are being initiated in the state legislative assembly. So the first one being the motion of confidence. So it is initiated by the government to prove its majority in the state legislative assembly. So the motion of confidence, it is initiated by the government to prove its majority. So the second one is motion of no confidence. So this was being initiated by the opposition. So it is to challenge the government's majority. So this is by government to prove its majority, and this is by opposition to challenge the majority of the government in the state legislative assembly. So that is the difference between motion of confidence and motion of no confidence. So now we will briefly look into the procedure of the trust vote in the state legislative assembly. So the first one is introduction of the trust vote. A member of the assembly moves a motion for a trust vote. This motion can be introduced by either the chief minister or any other member of the house. After the introduction of the trust vote, then the motion is debated in the assembly, where the members discuss the performance and policies of the government. After the debate, the voting is conducted and members can vote in favor or against the motion. So after the voting process, then the outcome is, if the majority support, if the government secures a majority of votes, it continues to hold the office. So it continues to hold the office. If the opposition secures the majority, or if the government fails to secure the majority, then it is required to resign. So it is required to resign from the government. So this is the brief procedure of the trust vote in the state legislative assembly. So now we will look into the role of the speaker in the process of trust voting. The speaker of the legislative assembly plays a critical role in the trust vote process. He decides the schedule for the debate and voting. So it is the speaker who decides the schedule for the debate and voting of the trust vote. Then he ensures the orderly conduct of the proceedings of the trust vote. Then he can exercise a casting votes in case of a tie. So in the case of if there are 50 votes in favor of government and 50 votes in case of opposition to the government, then in that case this is called as a tie. So in such case the speaker can cast his vote. So he cannot vote in the first instance, only he can vote in case of ties. So this is the brief role of the speaker during the trust voting process. So now we will look into the role of the governor during the trust vote process. So the governor may ask the chief minister to prove his majority on the floor of the assembly. So it is the governor who asks the chief minister to prove his majority on the floor of the assembly. So then he can also summon a special session of the assembly for conducting the trust vote. So it is the governor who summons the special session of the assembly for the conducting of the trust vote, not the speaker. So we should clearly know the difference between the role of the speaker and role of the governor during the process of trust vote. So it is the authority, it is the governor. The authority is the governor which summons or which may ask the chief minister to prove his majority on the floor of the house. And for that purpose, the government may call for the special session of the state legislative assembly. So now we will briefly discuss about the recent examples of or case studies of the trust vote being held in the state legislative assembly. So other than the Jharkhand government, so in the year 2019, the Karnataka government led by H.D. Kumaraswamy, it faced a trust vote after a series of resignation from the MLAs. So this trust vote resulted in the fall of the government. So the government headed by H.D. Kumaraswamy, it failed to secure the trust vote, so the government fell. So in the year 2020, the Madhya Pradesh, the Kamal Nath government, so it also faced the trust vote following the resignation of the several MLAs from the ruling party. So because of this, the Kamal Nath government has to resign and leading to the formation of new government headed by Shivraj Singh Chauhan. So now we will briefly look into the importance of the trust vote. So why it is important? So the trust vote, it maintains the democratic accountability. It means the government, it ensures that the government remains accountable to the elected representatives. So the representatives, that is MLAs, they take the government into accountability. So the government can function so long as it enjoys the majority in the state legislative assembly. So then the second importance is it prevents the political instability. So it helps in resolving the political crisis and it maintains the political stability in the state. So the third one being public confidence. So it reinforces the public confidence in democratic process by demonstrating the government's majority in the state legislature. So if the government secures majority in the state legislature, then it will increase the public confidence in the democratic process. The reason being, so this government, it is accountable to the state legislature and it is not run by the only council of ministers or cabinet or by the chief minister. So it has the majority support in the state legislative assembly. Coming to the challenges associated with establishing the trust voter, the first one being horse trading. So the practice of buying or influencing the legislator to change their allegiance is called as horse trading. So in the horse trading, what happens? The opposition party, it may lure the members of the ruling party to vote in opposition to the government. So this horse trading process, it undermines the democratic processes. So the second one is defection. The MLA switching parties leading to the political instability. So we can see that during the trust vote process, the MLAs, they will resign and they will join the opposition party. So this defection, it is a big challenge to the trust vote process. So the third challenge is judicial intervention. So because of these two processes, that is horse trading and defection, there are instances where the courts have to intervene to ensure the proper conduct of the trust vote. So these are challenges associated with horse trading. Sorry, these are challenges associated with trust vote process in the state legislative assembly. To the few important judgments or judicial pronouncements associated with trust vote processes. The first one is S.R. Bommai versus Union of India. So in this case, the Supreme Court held that the floor of the state legislative assembly is the only forum where the majority of the government should be tested. So it cannot be tested at government office or at the speaker's office. Only the trust vote process can happen at the floor of the assembly. So then the another judgment is in the year 2016 with respect to Arunachal Pradesh State Legislative Assembly. The Supreme Court reinstated the dismissed government, emphasizing the importance of the floor test. So at that time, what happens? Without being conducting the floor test, the governor dismisses the then ruling government. So in that case, the Supreme Court asked the government to to go for the floor test. So later it reinstates the then deceased government by the governor and says that the intention of the governor to dismiss the government is malified and it doesn't have any material evidence to dismiss the government. So this is brief study about the trust vote process in the state legislative assembly. So based on the topic that we have discussed so far, that is trust vote in the state legislative assembly. So here we have provided one prelims practice question. It contains 3 statements. Go through the statement and comment your answer. The answer and detailed explanation for this question is available in the PDF handout, which you can download by joining our Telegram channel. The handout also contains the detailed notes of this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, happy learning.